Intensity versus volume, which matters more? First of all, intensity isn't how hardcore your training is, nor is it a subjective designation to how close to failure you get. It's effort, but effort in terms of load. Specifically, high intensity means close to or at your 1 RM, with moderate and low beneath that. Without a minimum amount of intensity, without sufficient load, all the repeats in the world just don't matter. You can do 1,000 curls with a pencil and get 0 bicep development, whereas even 1 rep of a sufficiently heavy dumbbell has some small amount of stimulus attached. Now, volume, amount, is also important because even though sufficiently heavy singles even are some form of stimulus, there isn't enough of it in aggregate to matter without some repetition or duration of exposure to the stimulus. Training of any kind, strength, hypertrophy, learning a skill, etc., is ultimately the nuanced application of doing a thing, heavy, fast, or hard in terms of a skill, enough that there is a training effect per repetition, and then doing as many quality repetitions as possible before technique breaks down, injury occurs, or we've just done so many there's diminishing returns. It's not an either or, it's both. However, leaning one way or another will adjust the resultant training effect. Strength obviously requires more load, endurance more volume, and hypertrophy is somewhere in between. And you can have one exercise done 3 separate ways and get 3 distinct results because of your execution. Beware training dogma and lean on principles to train for the results you specifically want. Volume and intensity are both important. Which matters more depends entirely on you and what you're training for. Be a thinking athlete and stay in the fight.